We are taking political science chapter 1 NCERT questions, which are the extra questions from the textbook we have. So these are certain extra questions, additional questions that may be asked. The first is, what is constitution? So constitution of any country is a written document which prescribes it to be a supreme law of the country to decide the structure of the government, also the rights and duties of the citizens. The constitution tells or speaks about who would play a vital role in decision making, that is, who is going to be the decision maker. What are the features of constitutions? So first of all, it is the supreme law of the country. It maintains a relationship between the government and the people, that is the citizens of the country. It constitutes that how the government structure will be, that is, it constitutes the structure of the government, and it tells who would play an important role in decision making powers. What is the nature of India as per the preamble of the Indian Constitution? India is sovereign, secular, socialist, democratic republic state according to the preamble of our Indian Constitution. Mention the function of Constitution, which set some limits on our government, but on the other hand it favors the citizens also. So the Constitution sets some limits on the government that can be imposed on its citizens, and these limits are fundamental in the sense that the government may never trespass them. So there is a proper periphery or the boundary for the government. Government cannot trespass them. The basic idea is to give the fundamental rights to the citizens of the country. So these fundamental rights cannot be breached or trespassed by any decision being made by the government. What is the need and importance of a constitution? See, the constitution provides a framework within which a government has to work. I'll just give you an example. See, if this is your school, now the timing of your school is 8 a.m. and say it ends at 3 p.m. Now if this timing now is not there, then what will happen? Someone will come at 9, some may not come, some may come at 1 p.m. So this will create a havoc. So we need to have a proper arrangement, proper rules and regulations so that the school can be run. So in order to run a country, we need to have a constitution. First of all, the constitution provides a framework within which a government has to work, and it minimizes the chances of any kind of disputes, vibhed, among the various organs of the government, because it clearly defines the powers and the functions separately among the legislature, for example, the executionary, and the third one is the judiciary. And there are other parts of the institutions also which comes under government, which does not comes under government, like Election Commission of India. It also controls the misuse of the power of the government because the power is so distributed. Not a single entity has the monopoly. So, and the other institution checks and balances the other institutions like each other. It safeguards the fundamental rights of the citizens. This is the work of constitution. What do you mean by democratic? With special reference to India, Loktantra, what does it mean? So democratic or democracy denotes to choose the democracy as a way of life and run the administration through democratic institutions like the legislatures, the executive, the free and fair judiciary, and etc., like Election Commission of India, etc. So this democratic word in preamble refers to the social and economic democracy except political democracy. What do the political and economic justice stands for? Justice means you get the law, or you are governed by the rule of law. So the political justice and economic justice, how do we differ them? Political justice refers to the equal rights, political rights to be enjoyed by all the citizens of the country, where every citizen has a right to elect their representative as well as a right to be elected as the representative. That means you can vote and you can be voted also. Economic justice means every citizen of the country should get equal opportunities to earn its bread, like one's livelihood, as well as equal payment for equal work. Whether it will be a man or a woman. What is preamble or to the constitution? So preamble means the constitution, it is an introductory part like a gist or a summary. It's a summary, the part of constitution which enables the people to assess and evaluate the performance of the government in light of the objectives which are laid down into the preamble. Mention the 4 main features of Indian Constitution. So first of all, it establishes a sovereign democratic republic in India, and it established India as a secular state, Dharma Nirpeksh Rajya. It has provisions of fundamental rights as well as the fundamental duties to the citizens of India, and it establishes a parliamentary form of government in India. इंडिया इज अ सेकुलर स्टेट. भारत एक धर्म निरपेक्ष देश है. जस्टिफाई द स्टेटमेंट. So the word secular was put in the preamble to constitution through the 42nd amendment. The secular refers to the state that means the state, that the country, the government, whichever is there, has no religion of its own. That is, it is going to show respect to all the religions. The state observes complete neutrality in religious matters. The 45th Amendment carries equal respect and recognition to all religions, and there should be no discrimination, which is in India, that has ever been made against any individual belonging to different communities, religions, and castes. What do you understand by the term liberty, equality, fraternity in the preamble to Constitution? So the liberty means it is stated in the preamble as a goal that the people should have liberty of thought, that is the freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom of expression, belief, faith, and the state should remove the obstacles for the individuals to enjoy freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Equality means the preamble of the Constitution always emphasizes to remove any kind of discrimination, any sort of discrimination on the basis of sex, religion, race, color, caste, etc. And what are the provisions that are being made? Article 14, that is equality of justice. Article 15, social equality. Article 16, equality to achieve administrative services. Article 17, untouchability is removed, that is, it comes with social equality. Article 18, all the designations except academic and military were finished. Fraternity. Fraternity refers to the brotherhood. एक साथ रहने की जो व्यवस्था है. Fraternity refers to brotherhood, means equality of all citizens and their integrity. Everybody in society should be provided with the basic right to food, housing, clothing without any discrimination. So everyone has to be treated equally. Every citizen of the state is to be regarded as the part of decision-making process. What is the main difference between the position of the head of the state in India and that of the USA? How can you justify that India is a republic? Or these are the same question asked in different ways. See, India is a republic because the head of the state is president, who is elected by the electoral college of the parliament. That is, the parliament elect the president and the state legislative assembly for a fixed period of 5 years. So the state and the central government, they both are involved in order to elect a president. And the difference between the position of the president of India and the USA is that in USA, the president is the head of the presidential form of democratic government. That is, real head of the executive. In India, it is prime minister. Whereas in India, the president is the head of parliamentary government. That is, the prime minister, PM, and his cabinet, they are the real executive. And the president is the nominal head of the state. What is a constitution? How can we say that constitution is a living document? A constitution is a written set of rules and regulations to run the government of a country. It also defines the position of 3 organs of the government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, along with the maintenance or the maintain relationship between the government and the citizens, and also the check and balances between executive, legislature, judiciary, and other organs of the government. A constitution is a living document. Why? Because it contains provision to resolve socio-economic problems. To update at par the provisions of the constitution, the amendments are made, and judicial interpretation, executive orders, these customs, they also support the growth of the constitution. So constitution is capable to adopt new conditions as they arise. That is, amendment can be done, changes can be done, modifications can be applied. Why should we respect our constitution, or why is constitution respected? See, first of all, the constitution is supreme and the fundamental law of the country. There is nothing above the constitution. संविधान से ऊपर कुछ भी नहीं है. A constitution distributes the power and functions among three organs of the government, that is the legislature and the executive and the judiciary. The government of India is composed of principles laid down in a constitution. And a constitution maintains relationship between the government and the constitution. And the constitution was made by the Constituent Assembly, and all these people who are involved in this Constituent Assembly were elected by different provinces, by British, which were in British rule, which were not in British rule, and they were representing all the sections of the society. And those people who are making this constitution, they were well respected people who have come out of the national movement which happened in India because of the British rule. India is a sovereign democratic republic. Justify the statement. So India is a sovereign state. That means India has attained full status of independent statehood. First of all, it is no longer under subjugation of any foreign power. Previously we were under the British rule, but now we are sovereign. We are not under any foreign power. India is free to conduct her internal and external affairs as India deems desirable. So we are the own power of by ourselves. We don't have to see anyone else to make our decisions. India is a democratic state. What does it mean? This means the ultimate source of political and constitutional authority of India is vested only with the people, the citizens of the country. Elections are held on regular intervals, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, on the basis of adult franchise, that anyone who is 18 plus, he or she can cast vote. Equality is the basic principle of the democratic form of the government, and citizens of India enjoy the justifiable fundamental rights. The rule of law is an essential feature of the Indian democratic state. Why India is a republic? The head of the state is the President of India. He is elected by the Electoral College of Parliament and state assemblies after every 5 years. Indian Constitution contains some provision for social justice. Examine. So in India, social justice is lacking due to the fact that the persons who enjoy greater wealth and property, they have power, and others are usually seen to be deprived. So positions are made, or the provisions are being made in Indian Constitution to end this social justice in India, which is prevailing for long. So the Indian Constitution has declared the practice of the untouchability. That is called, you cannot touch people, or touch of people is bad previously. Untouchability. Asprashyata, a punishable offense now. The state will provide equal opportunities to all the citizens of the country. No one can be discriminated for using public facilities on the ground of their caste, religion and language. So India works on welfare state philosophy to the welfare of people and the upliftment, emancipation for the weaker section or the marginalized sections. Constitution has given special privilege to SC, ST, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, other backward classes, and even to the women and the minorities. Write a note on Constituent Assembly. What is a Constituent Assembly? So the Indian Constitution was made by the Constituent Assembly, also called as Samvidhan Sabha. It held its first sitting on 9 December 1946. And reassembled on 14 August 1947 by the elected members of the Provisional Legislative Assembly through an election. It was composed roughly along the lines suggested by the Cabinet Mission of the British rule, and on 26 November 1949, 284 actual members appended, or they actually signed the Constitution. Constituent Assembly was made seriously a representative body in which the representation from all sections of the society was made and accommodated all shades of opinion from each and every religion, caste, creed and the region. The assembly took 166 days spread over 2 years. So this is not 166 days. Let me tell you that these are 166 sittings. 166 sittings, and it took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to frame the constitution finally adopted by the Indian country. What is the philosophy of Indian Constitution? Discuss. Now, the framers who framed the constitution, they expressed their vision for a new society and polity. Despite they have all the differences between them, the framers, they reached a consensus to be reflected in the constitution. So, Indian constitution was attempted to reach, it was made to reach the goal of building a new social order on the basis of democracy, equality and justice. It also projected fundamental rights and civil liberties of Indian citizens along with fundamental duties and directive principles of the state policy. Indian constitution is based on liberal, welfare, democratic society to be reflected in the preamble. Therefore, the philosophy of constitution finds its expression in the preamble of the Indian constitution. So these were the extra questions. Now we are going to discuss about the passage based questions. This we will take in the next discussion. Till then, thank you so much. Take care of yourself.